Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today in this video we're going to talk about strong supply and demand zones. Okay, we're going to see how you can draw supply and demand zones and how you can differentiate between a strong supply and demand zone and a weak supply and demand zone. Okay, because the supply and demand zones are forming throughout the day in your chart, so you need to look for the zones which are strong, and you need to add some filters or add some confluence so that the probability of your trade making some profit becomes higher. So that's why you need to always look for a strong supply and demand zones and then place your trades. And this is what we're going to discuss in this video. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you will be the first one to know whenever we upload any new content. So let's get on with the video. So in order to identify the strong supply and demand zones, there are basically three steps that we need to follow. Okay, the first step is identifying the supply and demand zones. The second step is adding a confluence or a filter of Fibonacci retracement. Okay, we need to draw the Fibonacci retracement, and then the third step is basically we need to draw the strong supply or demand zone. Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss about the first step, that is identifying the supply and demand zone. Now there are basically, as we discussed in our previous video, that there are basically four types of supply and demand zones. Those can be the Raly based Raly demand zone, okay, Raly based drop supply zone, the drop based Raly demand zone, and the drop based drop supply zone. So if you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and check that video out so that you can understand how you can identify supply and demand zone. Okay, we have explained in detail how you can spot any of these four supply and demand zone and how you can see if there is a valid zone in your chart. Okay, now let's go ahead towards the second step, that is basically drawing the Fibonacci retracement. So here what we're doing is we are adding a confluence or a filter to our zone in order to identify if our supply or demand zone is strong or not. And we are doing this by drawing the Fibonacci retracement by using the Fibonacci retracement tool. And what we need to do is we need to look for the zone, if the zone is available within our golden zone. Okay, golden zone of Fibonacci retracement basically. So the golden zone of Fibonacci retracement is between 50 and 61.8%. So if our zone that we spotted in first step is within this golden zone, that 50 to 61.8 Fibonacci percentage, then that means that this zone is basically a very strong supply or demand zone. And the third step is basically drawing the zone. Okay, drawing the zone or adjusting the zone if it's a little bit out of this golden zone, okay, or this 50 to 61.8 percentage level. So these are the three steps that we need to follow in order to determine if the supply or demand zone is strong or not. Okay, so now let's go through an example in order to see how you can apply all these three steps in order to determine the strong supply and demand zone. And in the end, we're going to go through some of the examples on the charts in order to validate what we have discussed. So here, if we go here and let me just zoom in. So the first step is basically determining the supply or demand zone. So once we have found out that there is a demand zone, what we need to do is we need to draw that zone. So let me just go ahead and draw that zone here. And you can see that this is basically our base. And let me just adjust this. And we want to background to be, let's say, green. Okay, so you can see here that this is basically a demand zone, and this is a Raly based Raly demand zone. So we have outlined that zone, and the next step in our analysis is to add the Fibonacci retracement in order to see if this zone is strong or not. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get the retracement tool, the Fibonacci retracement tool, and let me draw the Fibonacci retracement. So once I draw this, we can see that this zone is in between our 0.5 and 0.618, or basically 50% and 61.8%. So this is a strong demand zone. And what this allows is it allows us to take the pinpoint entry, and it also increases the probability of our trade going in the right direction. Because now one thing we have done is we have detected a supply and demand zone, and then we have added a filter or a confluence of Fibonacci retracement in order to detect if the zone is strong or not. So both these methods combined are a very powerful tool in order to determine if the zone is strong or not. Okay, so now let's go ahead on the charts and see if we can find out some strong supply and demand zones. All right, so let's go to the charts here, and let me just look for any supply and demand zone. And okay, let me just zoom in, and here this zone, you can see that this is basically our Raly demand zone, similar to what we saw above. Okay, so now what I have done is I have completed the first step, that is I have detected the zone, or I have seen the zone. Now I need to validate if this zone is basically strong or not. So in order to do that, what I need to do is I need to take the Fibonacci retracement tool, and we need to start from the bottom of the swing. Okay, so I'm gonna start from here, and I'm gonna take this to this high of our swing. And again, you can see that this zone is falling between our 0.5 and 0.618% ratio or percentage. Okay, that is between our golden zone. So this zone, or this demand zone, is a strong demand zone. This validates our analysis. Okay, and you can also see that the price retracement back here, and what it allows is it allows us to take the pinpoint entry, and the price went back from there. Okay, so now let me go ahead and look if we can find any other supply and demand zone, and let me just zoom this in. And you can also see here that these are basically our supply and demand zones forming here, and this is basically a demand zone forming here. And let me just go ahead and draw that out so that you can see. So here you can see that this is also a demand zone forming here. Now again, what I need to do is I need to check or validate if this is a strong or a weak demand zone. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our Fibonacci retracement tool, and again this is basically a complete swing from here till here. So what we need to do is we need to draw the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of our swing and take it to the high. Okay, so again you can see that the area of this zone or this demand zone is in between our golden zone or golden percentage of 50 and 61.8. so now what we need to do is we need to adjust our zone in order to take the pinpoint entry. And here you can see that we have spotted a strong demand zone. Okay, now let's go ahead and see if we can find any other example of our demand zone. So let me just go down to the bottom and see. Let me just zoom out so that we can see more candles. Okay, this one here, again you can see that there is a Raly demand zone. So let me just zoom this in, and let me just draw that zone so that you can see. So this is our Raly zone. Okay, and what we need to do is again we need to confirm if this zone is a strong demand zone or a weak demand zone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our Fibonacci retracement tool again, and I'm gonna start from the bottom or low of our swing, and I'm gonna take it to the top. A major part of this zone is in between our golden ratio, okay, or in our golden zone. So we need to adjust this zone in order to take the pinpoint entry. So I'm gonna take this to this level, okay, and this level, and from here we can see that by using the Fibonacci retracement we are able to detect the strong demand zone. So this is how you can use the Fibonacci retracement and the supply and demand zones combined in order to detect the strong supply and demand zones. So let me just repeat what we have discussed in this video. The first step is basically determining the supply and demand zone. Okay, we need to determine if there is a supply and demand zone, a valid supply and demand zone, right? That is our first step. That zone can be any of these four types. Okay, the second step is basically looking for the supply and demand zone in between to be 50 to 61.8 percentage, and if that zone is in between that percentage, that means that our supply and demand zone is basically good or strong. Okay, and the third step is basically drawing the zone and adjusting it to our golden zone ratio so that we can take the pinpoint entry. So I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I would love to answer them. Also, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and you can also visit our website www.forexb.co in order to learn more about price action and forex. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.